In this video, I'm going to show you end-to-end how you can build construction estimates using a combination of Claude Cowork and Microsoft Excel. If you're not familiar with Cowork, it is the new Claude tool that they've recently released where you can set up Claude in a folder on your desktop and it can read and write and edit documents, which is perfect for estimating because if we think about what the process of preparing an estimate is, it's taking the client bid documents, analyze them, working out what they want us to price, then going and building an estimate in something like Microsoft Excel. We'll need to take subcontractor quotes, look at our activity cost, our labor plant material rates, and compile all of these into a price based on the quantities of work. So the other feature of Claude that I'm going to be using are what are referred to as Claude Capabilities. So Claude Capabilities or skills are basically pre-built workflows where you can read and write and run scripts. For example, I've set up one for doing construction takeoffs where it runs a script that extracts vector data from the PDF so it can more accurately do a takeoff. So the skills that I've set up for this workflow are my overall estimating workflow orchestrator, which goes step by step through the process of how I want Claude to prepare an estimate, which goes from extracting requirements from the client's bid documents, building a pricing schedule, then going through and pricing each line item individually based on our input rates and subcontractor quotes, and then doing a final verification and check of completeness against the original bid requirements. I also have my construction takeoff skill, which takes a set of construction drawings, splits them into individual PDFs, runs an AI analysis on each individual PDF with a combination of the vector data. The vector data is the layer of text, symbols, and structures on PDFs, and the image, and it uses a combination of these to extract primary quantities. So the quantities you can easily measure like areas or counting tags, but it doesn't try to do complex measurements using a scale because I know that's something AI is unreliable with. And then it puts this into an Excel register. The next thing in my estimating folder is obviously the bid documents. So these are the documents the client sends us the quote. So we've got the drawings and we'll generally have a scope of works. Again, completely dependent on the bid package you get sent. Maybe they'll actually give you a bill of quantities, which in Australia is quite common. They'll give you a pricing schedule with the bid quantities in them. For example, this one actually has the bid quantities in it. But again, if they're giving us the bid quantities, we don't even have to do the quantity takeoff. We can just use AI to basically take these and derive secondary quantities from the quantities they've given us. So the first step in my estimating workflow is I want to use AI to analyze the bid documents to extract all the requirements. When you think about a set of bid documents or drawings, specifications, scope of works, what I think of them as is basically they're a massive list of things that we have to price to include. This schedule has 11 air conditioning units on it. We have to price 11 air conditioning units. The drawings show us for example, if I go to the ductwork layout, or these are the condensing pipes, they show us a layout of the pipes. We have to price the supply and install this pipe work. There is more, the scope of works will generally give you a broad overview of what you're pricing. So it will say, we're going to install the outdoor condensing units, indoor evaporator units, heat recovery ventilators, and so on and so forth. So basically, bid documents, I like the first step in the process is you take them, you turn them into a massive set of requirements that you have to include in your estimate. So again, I'm not going to run these while I'm doing the video because you'll find with Cowork that it takes probably 5 to 10 minutes per task. So it's a bit annoying to do a video. But if I look at the output of that, for some reason it put it in my templates folder, but that's fine. It has gone through and looked at my pricing data and it has turned it into this entire list of requirements. Now, the reason I think it is good to have intermediary verifiable steps is that now I can also go and analyze the bid documents. I can also look at the scope of works. I can do my own checks and we can cross-check them. Seeing an output you can verify like this. So say after Claude runs the first step in this process, I can go through, delete things, edit it, change it, add in missing requirements that I picked up that the AI will miss. Again, AI is doing one small step and at the same time, we are also doing that step in parallel and then we're cross-checking each other's output. Now, the other thing I like to do here is you can add in a column that says something like exclude from scope and you can flag things you want to exclude from scope. That'll be important after you've prepared your estimate. when you actually go to prepare your submission or proposal letter, because these would be the things that is important to note down in your submission that you should exclude. Now, the next thing I did is I ran my quantity takeoff skill. So what the quantity takeoff skill does over just simply asking Claude for a quantity takeoff is it actually has a script in it. So through Claude Cowork and Claude Code, you can actually run scripts, but you'll notice a lot of modern PDF drawings that aren't just compressed images will have this layer of symbols, text, and data. That is referred to as vector data. So the quantity takeoff skill I built extracts all of this data from the PDFs, and then it compares that to the actual images of the PDF. So for example, if it's doing a takeoff of light fittings, I have set up in my skill. So if I go to the drawing with the light fittings. Oh, sorry, I won't do light fittings. I'll do another example where, for example, there are these text tags calling out the equipment. So I've told in my construction takeoff skill, I've told it, use the tags rather than the symbols to count, because I know AI is reliable at reading text. It will count up how many of these symbols are, looks at the image in parallel to determine how many there actually are on the drawings. It has then gone through and produced this quantity takeoff spreadsheet. Again, my very strong opinion is that I would not be relying on AI to do quantity takeoffs. Good use case would be checking the takeoffs you've done so you can cross-check each other's works. But again, this is too much reliant on a good quantity takeoff that it actually makes sense to do it yourself. And from the primary quantities in my schedule, it's gone and derived all of the secondary quantities. For example, it's worked out how much cable for the condensing units based off the primary quantity. So there's 5 condensing units. It's using 15 meters per condensing unit. So it's calculated 75 meters of cable total. Again, this is a much better way to do it because you're not relying on the AI to go through and work out, well, this condensing unit's here. It's roughly 15.6 meters away. So I'm going to do 15.6. Just for stuff that is cheap and probably not a huge proportion of the total cost, I think this secondary conversion method works much better, even if you are measuring the quantities yourself. Now, next up, I've asked it to go and prepare a scope of works for each of my trade packages. Again, we want to minimize how much work the AI is doing. So I have a procurement scope of work skill, which I tell AI how I want to write my scope of works. And then all it has done is gone to my template scopes of works, and it has updated those with the actual scope of the project. So using the input data, which is the scope, the quantities, all that information, it has just gone and edited the template that I already have. Now, depending how creative you want to get with the use of AI, you could definitely set up other tools where it links to your inbox. It sends out the packages to a list of recipients. There are 100 different things you could do. Again, outside the scope of this video, but get creative with what you want it to do. I think Airtable would be a good tool here where you actually create your procurement register in Airtable. You have a register of each subcontractor that you send out an email to. After you've reviewed the package, you click send and it triggers another workflow that sends packages out. Again, 100 different things you could do. It's sort of outside the scope of this video, but you can start to get creative about workflows where it makes sense to do. And then because this was a demo video, I then got it to create another folder with example quotes. Imagine we got back quotes from vendors. I wanted to create sample subcontract quotes. So it has gone and created some sample quotes with different inclusions and exclusions, which I'm going to use to include in my estimate. Again, I keep coming back to the point that the way we are using AI here is discrete steps, verifiable outputs, and we're always relying on AI not to do a lot of heavy lifting and complex reasoning. We're always simply trying to get it to take data from one format and to put it into another. So if I imagine where we're up to in the process, we have subcontract quotes, we have our bid documents turned into a clean requirements register that we've edited and told it what we want to include and not include in scope. We have our quantity takeoffs and we've got our requirements register. And also we've got our activity templates and cost database. What we want it to now do is go and compile all this together. So this is when we tell it to go ahead and actually create the estimate. So it's taking the subcontractor quotes, the quantities, the activity templates we have with our breakdowns and productivity rates we want it to use. And then it has gone ahead and built an estimate with detailed workings in our template. Again, I have to stress this point that AI will do whatever you tell it to. The question is always going to be, whether it does it reliably. The reason I think this process is good, because each step in the process, all AI is doing is taking data from one format and turning it into another format. There's small discrete steps where we can verify the output, with the exception of the quantity takeoff one. Look, to me, if I was submitting this bid, would I be comfortable putting a $400,000 bet that AI has done a quantity takeoff? No. But again, I've seen some people are using AI like that, so it's really up to you. But all I'm using AI for in this process is just reformatting and repurposing data. Now, the last step in the process is I did this in the same Cowork chat, but the better way to do this would be to kick off a new session. So you create a completely new session, set it up to work in my folder. So I'm selecting it to work in my folder, and then in my folder, bid documents and a construction estimate. Can you please prepare a comprehensive check that this estimate is correct? The reason I would do this in a separate new folder is because when you create a conversation, there is all this memory within the conversation. It can reference previous things it's done, all these different bits of information. But what you really want to do when you're checking an estimate is you want to create a new folder, and you simply want it to compare and check your estimate against the original requirements. You don't want it to know its previous working, which you would have access to in that other folder. So start a new conversation and wipe the slate. Then it is checking properly from scratch, rather than potentially looking at its own workings and jumping to conclusions when it's previously made mistakes. So there you have it. There is an end-to-end estimating workflow. Again, this is always, like, I keep making these videos, but I just want to keep stressing the point that I'm making these more or less to show you what you can do. There is so much power to customize this to your exact workflow. But again, keep in front of your mind that AI will work best if all it is doing is taking data from one format, putting it into another, and that any sort of reusable workflows you do capture as a skill or a template or data that you save into your folder.